Jezebel got worked up. Getting her to explain things was next to impossible. I'd been learning to guess. Who? The wolves! She snarled. Oh, not again. Which of the wolves? She bared her teeth. I'll cut her legs off! So, Jennifer was involved. Of course. During my aunt's rampage, Jennifer, the female half of the wolf alpha pair, made an executive decision not to evacuate. My aunt attacked the wolf safe house in the city while Jennifer was out, and her magic caused the whole house to go loop, including Jennifer's 12-year-old sister, Naomi. When I ran into the house, hoping to kill my aunt, Naomi attacked me, and I ended her life. Jennifer blamed me for her sister's death. The wolves went out of their way to stick it to me whenever they could. They turned it into almost a game. The auditorium door loomed before me. 2 minutes to 8. We'll talk about it after. 8? After. I took a deep breath, opened the door, and strode in, Jez behind me. An enormous auditorium stretched before me. Rows of ledges crossed it, offering a place to lie and sit, all facing a wide stage lit by electric lamps and braziers cradling open flame. A giant desk with a chair waited in the middle of the stage. Usually it was flanked by 2 chairs. Only 1 chair this time. My chair. The bottom rows were filled. Shapeshifters sprawled here and there, some by themselves, some in couples. At least 100 people, maybe more. Petitions rarely attracted that kind of audience. Something was up. I raised my head, walked across the stage to the desk, and sat. To the left, just below me, a second desk stood perpendicular to the stage. The desk was occupied by a dark-haired woman about my age. She had curly brown hair, large dark eyes, and an infectious laugh. She also introduced herself as George. George's full name was actually Georgetta, and she tended to break people's bones when they used it. Her parents were the only 2 beings on Earth able to say it without consequences, and since her father was Mayhan, the Pack's executioner, I didn't want to try my luck. During petitions, George acted as the neutral third party, who prepared summaries of the cases and ran the hearings. George rose and rang the bell. We're now in session. The crowd quieted. Damn, there were a lot of people here. Shapeshifters gossiped like old Southern ladies at church. If they got hold of some juicy rumor, they showed up in droves to watch it unfold. So far today, I'd been cut, burned, bruised, advised that we were facing a secret society, and emotionally compromised. I didn't need any more bloody surprises. Case of Donovan versus Parolo, George announced. 2 shapeshifters rose from the audience and went down to the first row. I opened the first file. The first 4 cases were routine. A dispute over an abandoned car on the border of the rats' territory. One of the cats had found it and spent a few hours hauling it out of the ravine. Technically, all of the shapeshifter territory was pack territory, but each clan house had a few square miles of exclusively their land, so the clans could meet in private. The car went to the rats. I ruled that the cat had no business on their land in the first place. The second case was a domestic dispute between ex-spouses belonging to different clans. When the couple had divorced, the rat father took the children, and the jackal mother claimed that she didn't have to pay child support because both kids turned into rats. I decided she did. The third and fourth cases involved a business jointly owned by Clan Heavy and Clan Jackal. It was long and complicated, and I had to check my notes more times than I could count. When all interested parties finally sat down, I had to squish the urge to collapse in relief on my desk. Another couple stepped up. The man's right arm was in a sling, and he held himself like he was spoiling for a fight. He looked to be in his early 20s, hard to say for sure. Shapeshifters were long-lived, and some people I could have sworn were in their late 40s were pushing 70. The woman appeared to be about the same age. Slender, she had a pretty face framed by a waterfall of blonde hair that spilled below her waist. She seemed on edge, as if she expected me to throw something at her at any moment. The man raised his head. Kenneth Thompson, Clan Wolf petitioner. The woman squared her shoulders. Sandra Martin, Clan Wolf defendant. A warning bell went off in my head. Ken looked at me. I exercised my right of individual appeal. I appealed to have my petition judged by a consort. That meant that he wanted me to make the judgment. If Curran were here, he could offer his opinion. But the decision was my responsibility. Except Curran wasn't here. I'm the only one here, I told him. I have to judge your case by default. Ken looked a bit confused. I was told to ask for direct appeal. I glanced at George. She made a winding motion with her left hand. Keep going. Right. Barabbas had made me memorize the protocol, so at least I wasn't completely lost. I looked at Sandra. Do you have any objections? She swallowed. No. The request for individual appeal is granted, I said. The audience focused on me. So this was it. That was why every busybody in the pack was here. I glanced at the wolf alpha couple. Daniel was impassive, and